This video is a practice problem review on multiplying and dividing monomials. The first problems will be dividing monomials with negative exponents. Try number one. On number one, I have a negative exponent. When you have a negative exponent, you can write its reciprocal, or you can think about just moving it up or down. My reciprocal of this, if I flip it upside down, is 1 over negative 5 squared, or I can think about moving it down if it's in the top or up if it's in the bottom. And then on the bottom, negative 5 squared is 25. The answer is 1 over 25. Number two. On number two, there's only one thing to do. Get that m to the negative 5 power and move it down, because simplest form will never have a negative exponent. So your answer is 3 into the fourth over m to the fifth. Number three. On number three, I have a negative exponent, so I move it down. When I move it down, I have 4 over 2 cubed, which becomes 4 over 8, which simplifies to 1/2. Your answer is 1/2. Number four. On number four, you could multiply all these together by adding the exponents. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1. 1 plus 4 is 5, and then do 2 to the fifth power. Or you could do what I did by moving the 2 to the negative 2 power down, then subtracting. 7 minus 2 is 5, and do 2 to the fifth. Or you could evaluate the top, get 128, the bottom get 4, then simplify it to 32. 3 different ways to do number four. Number five. Number five is very quick. All you do is take the a to the negative 4 and move it up to make it positive. So your answer is 13 a to the fourth over b cubed. Number six. On number six, you could multiply. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2. So your answer is 3n squared. Or you could think about moving it down, making it positive, then dividing by subtracting the exponents. 3 minus 1 is 2. Your answer is 3n squared, however you do it. Number seven. On number seven, you could multiply. Negative 8 times 2, get negative 16, then move it down. Or you could move it down to start with to get positive 8, then multiply 8 times 2 and get 16. Either way, your answer is 1 over n to the 16th. Number eight. Number eight, just like number seven, has two ways to do it. This time I chose to multiply, get negative 18, then flip it, write the reciprocal, move it down. However you look at that, you get 1 over y to the 18th. This is number nine. On number nine, you could subtract first. 10 minus 7, negative 11 minus negative 2. I would choose to swap places with these two. Move this one up, make it positive, so positive 2 goes up top. Move this one down, make it positive, so positive 11's on the bottom. Then I could still subtract. 2 minus 11 is negative 9 and deal with that. But what I choose to do, I have 3 more x's on top than I do on bottom. So when I cancel them out, I'm going to end up with 3 x's on top. I have 9 more y's on the bottom than I do on top. 11 minus 2 is 9. So I end up with 9 y's on the bottom. And that's honestly the way I normally think about it. If I got more on top, I subtract and keep it on top. If I got more on bottom, I subtract and keep it on bottom. Number 10. On number 10, I could multiply 0 times negative 3 to get 0 and then think about 0 power, but this whole thing is to the 0 power, so the whole thing is worth 1. And then on the right, 3 times 3 is 9, because when you have a power to a power, you multiply the exponents. And then 1 times y to the 9th is y to the 9th. And honestly, when I see something to the 0 power, I just completely ignore it and think about this only, because 1 only matters if that's the only thing there. But since I have the y to the 9th, I don't have to write that understood 1. Number 11. On number 11, I could think about negative 4 times negative 2 is 8. Then 3 plus 0 is 3, or just completely ignore this because it's to the 0 power and bring down the n cubed. Either way, your answer is n cubed. Number 12. On number 12, I have 4 things to apply this exponent of 2 to. When you have a power to a power, you multiply. So my exponents are 1, 2, 1, and 1. I multiply this 2 times all 4 exponents. When you do that up top, you get 4 m to the 4th n squared, and on the bottom, 5 squared is 25. Your answer is 4 m to the 4th n squared over 25. Number 13. Well, number 13, I have a common base of 8, so I subtract the exponents. 6 minus 4 is 2, and 8 squared is 64. Number 14. Number 14, I have a common base of 8. I subtract the exponents. I get negative 2. I could write the reciprocal of it, or I could just think about I have 2 more on bottom than I do on top. My bigger exponent's on bottom, so I just subtract 6 minus 4, and I get 2 on the bottom. Either way, you'll end up with 1 over 64. So when I did it, I chose to say 4 minus 6 is negative 2. But honestly, when I normally do it, I would say I got 2 more on the bottom than I do on top. So I have 1 over 8 squared, which becomes 1 over 64. Lots of ways to do these, even more than I'm telling you, actually. Number 15. Number 15, coefficients. 2 times 1 is 1, and n cubed times n cubed. Keep the common base, add the exponents is n to the 6. 2 n to the 6 is your answer. 16 through 18 is just a very basic review of the 3 things that mostly we do, which is multiply, power to a power, and divide. Obviously, when there's more than one on the screen, you can go ahead and do them all. But I'm still going to go over them one at a time. Number 16. On number 16, n squared times n to the 4th. When you have a common base and you multiply, you add the exponents. So 2 plus 4 is 6. Number 17. Number 17 is a power to a power. When you have a power to a power, you multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. And on my original video, I told why you do that. Number 18. Number 18 is division. When you divide with a common base, you subtract the exponents. 4 minus 2 is 2. Those are a very good review. Okay, back to Algebra 1 type problems. Number 19. On number 19, I have 2 groupings. I apply the exponent of 2 to these 3 exponents. I apply this exponent of 2 to these 3 exponents. On the first grouping, when I multiply, negative 5 squared is 25. 2 times 5 is 10 on the A's. 2 times 5 is 10 on the B's. On the second grouping, 2 times 1 on the A's is 2. 2 times 2 on the B's is 4. 2 times 3 on the C's is 6. Now, I need to multiply these 2 groupings together. So 25 times 1 is 25. A to the 10th times a to the 2nd is a to the 12th. Add the exponents. B to the 10th times b to the 4th is b to the 14th. Add the exponents. Only have a 1c, it's to the 6th power, so it stays. Your answer is 25, a to the 12th, b to the 14th, c to the 6th. Number 20. On number 20, you got 2 things to do. Actually, you have 1 thing to do. K to the 8th times k to the 4th is k to the 12th, and you do have 2 things to do. Also, negative 3 times 3 times 1 is negative 9. So multiply your coefficients together. 1 times negative 3 times 3, which is just negative 3 times 3, negative 9. Your j stays just like it is. And your k's you multiply together. K to the 8th times k to the 4th. 8 plus 4 is k to the 12th. Your answer is negative 3, j to the 8th, 3, k to the 12th. Number 21. On number 21, negative 5 cubed is negative 125. and m to the 6th to the 3rd. 3 times 6 is 18. Your answer is negative 125 m to the 18th. Number 22. Number 22, my first grouping, 2 cubed is 8. 1 times 3 on the A's is 3. 2 times 3 on the B's is 6. 3 times 1 on the A's is 3. 3 times 1 on the B's is 3. Then I multiply. 8 times 1 is 8. On the A's, 3 plus 3 is 6. On the B's, 6 plus 3 is 9. Your answer is 8, 8 to the 6th, B to the 9th. Number 23. Number 23, 1 times 5 is 5, and n cubed times n to the 9th. 3 plus 9 is n to the 12th. Your answer is 5, n to the 12th. Number 24. Number 24, you flip it or write the reciprocal of it. 1 over n to the 5th is your answer. For the grand finale, number 25, first let's talk about it. That says negative 2 a squared b squared c to the 0 over 5a cubed b cubed c to the 7th. All that's in parentheses, all that is to the negative 2 power. Lots of ways to do this. I'm going to talk about 2. Try to get to the next step and then stop. Let's check it before we move on all the way to the final answer. Just try to take it to the next step. Okay, so what I would not do, that may be your first instinct, is to multiply negative 2 times all the exponents. If you did that, you can still get the right answer. And right now you have negative 2 to the negative 2, a to the negative 4, b to the negative 4, c to the 0, over 5 to the negative 2, a to the negative 6, b to the negative 6, c to the negative 14. But now I still have to deal with all those negative exponents. I got to move all the bottom stuff up, all the top stuff down, or do negative minus another negative, which is kind of complicated. What you can do when you have a grouping and the whole grouping is to a negative exponent is just flip the grouping and make it a positive exponent, because the way you get rid of a negative exponent is by writing the reciprocal. So I wrote the reciprocal. I put the bottom on top, the top on bottom, which literally is the reciprocal. Now I have a positive exponent. Now when I multiply this 2 times everything in parentheses, I'm going to have a nicer looking monomial to work with than what I have here. When you have a negative exponent, everything's in a grouping, write the reciprocal of the grouping, which means flip it, then you have a positive exponent, a lot easier to deal with. So I'm going to give you a moment to finish. All right, so when I apply this 2 to everything in the numerator, I get 25, a to the 6th, b to the 6th, c to the 14th. And when I apply this 2 to everything in the denominator, I get 4, a to the 4th, b to the 4th. 25 divided by 4 is a fraction or a mixed number, so I'm going to leave my 25 up top and my 4 on the bottom, but I can simplify these exponents. 6 minus 4 gives me 2 up top. 6 minus 4 gives me 2 up top on the B's. I don't have anything else to do with the C's, so it stays c to the 14th. And your final answer is 25 a squared b squared c to the 14th over 4. Thank you.